This sounds was recorded on the 17th of October 1955, private appointment for Rose Crete, medium Leslie Flint.
Hello.
Hello. Frederick?
Hello.
Happy birthday to you, Frederick, dear.
Thank you very much, but although I know it is very important, you know, that you should remember my birthday, but it does not mean so very much to me.
No, I know.
The only thing that is important is that you have such an affection that you remember it, you know.
Yes.
But in a sense, it is unimportant. Actually, when I come to think about it, the most important birthday is the anniversary of my coming over here. That
Yes.
is a very important anniversary. For then it is that, well, my birthday into the realms of enlightenment and opportunity.
Frederick, I wish you would tell me something about it. Do you think, would you?
About what?
When you went over there.
You mean what my reactions
Yes.
were and everything?
Yes.
Well, you know, it was, of course, a very great, I won't say shock, it was a very great
Surprise?
yes, but that was not quite the word I want to find. A revelation, you know.
Yes.
For some time I had been ill, and towards the last few days I was very conscious of the fact that I was dying, you know.
Yes.
And I was very mixed in myself. I wanted to stay on the earth, at the same time another part of me wanted to die, you know. I
Yes.
had lost the will to some extent to live, but there was always my music, and that was the only thing that seemed somehow to matter to me, and I felt it was so awful, you know, to have to leave everything so soon when I had so many plans, so much inside me still to do, you know.
Yes.
And there was that half sort of fear of what it was going to be like, if there was anything to look forward to after death, you know. I was so confused, I suppose that is the word, mentally confused as to life in the world to come. I was afraid, and yet in a sense I was hopeful, and at the same time I was resentful at my life being cut so short. It was also difficult, you know.
Yes.
I couldn't sort of sort myself out at all, and I see just before I pass
Yes.
several people who come to me from spirit,
Yes.
and that give me great encouragement. They make me feel so different. The last few hours of my life, when people think that I'm not conscious, I was very conscious of things which they were not conscious of.
Yes.
You know, the first thing I hear was music.
You heard that was it?
That was the thing, I think, that gave me more encouragement, gave me more hope, made me feel so different about everything, because I think it must have been an hour or two or so before I passed from the earth.
Yes.
I hear quite distinctly magnificent music, and it was just as if I was transported, you know. It seemed to lift my soul or lift myself clean out of my body, and I remember just for a few seconds coming back to earth and being conscious of the room and everything, but then a few seconds later it was as if it was no more the earth, and I became fully conscious of being enveloped, is the only word I can use, not only with music, but it was as if I was transported by music and unseen hands. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
And yet in my eye, not visually, but mentally, I suppose it must have been, although I suppose I thought it was visual, but in my inner self, or my mind's eye, I was conscious of all kinds of friends. But the only thing that really, strangely enough, seemed to be most strong was the music. It was the music that seemed to carry me from the earth to the spirit world.
I suppose it was special bands of musicians probably who came to meet you.
Well, of course, I know now what it was all about. At the
Yes.
time, it was confusing, but very wonderful. I realize now that it was many musicians, many, of course, whom I had never known, some I had known when on earth, but all who came to greet me, and knowing my tremendous love of music and how important it was and how it was indeed my very life, they knew that the easiest way to help me and to make my passage from earth to the realm of spirit easy and happy was to bring music. And so there must have been a tremendous number of people who were musicians, who were playing the most divine music, which seemed to absolutely take from me all my worry, all my care, all my uncertainty, all my fear, and all my pain. Everything was taken from me as it were almost in the moment of a second. I seemed as if I then knew for the first time what it was going to be like to die. It was not going to be dreadful or horrible. I was not going to be cut off from music. It was going to be all that one could desire, that it was going to be more and more divine, inasmuch that it was going to be my heaven as I would have wished it if it had been possible for me to create it. It was going to be a musical transportation into a heavenly sphere where music was all. And so it was. My friends, unseen and yet conscious as I was of them, were there creating the most beautiful music. It transported me completely away from earth. And I think the last few moments of my earth, when I was a little conscious of earthly things, a fleeting moment or two, I think my friends on earth were conscious of the
transfiguration.
Change that has taken place, you know. I don't know how to put these things into words.
And then you were transported to where, Frederick? Did you have a home there?
For a while I stayed in most beautiful surroundings, in most beautiful house.
Yes.
With friends, people who had deliberately set themselves out to help me and to encourage me, you know, and everything. And the first thing I remember when was waking in a magnificent room, very lofty, a very beautiful room, with magnificent everything, you know, furniture, everything, magnificent windows, and through which there seemed to be the most wonderful light coming, and yet it was not sunlight as you know it. It was just a light which, when I went to see from the source from whence it came, there was nothing visible except this magnificent halo of light and a magnificent view of parklands and everything, beautiful flies, beautifully kept gardens. But what, of course, was most important to me, that was my piano.
Yes.
And that was, to me, home. It does not matter. You know, in the old days when I used to go to a place, the first thing I look for when I go into a room, piano. No piano, this is no good. And I felt like saying, good afternoon.
That's exactly how I feel.
But when I wake up in this place, this magnificent but beautiful place, there was this beautiful piano. But I saw, for the first time, I think, in my whole life, I did not go straight to the piano. I suppose it was because I was puzzled. I was a little uncertain as to where I was, and I was curious and everything, and I just walk around and I go to this window and I see this magnificent view, and somehow I suppose the realization came to me that I was at home, and yet I knew in myself I was not alive in the sense of earthly sense. I was not in a physical earthly existence anymore, but I felt content. I felt at home, but just a little surprised and unsettled, inasmuch that I did not seem to know quite what had happened. It was all rather vague, but I felt somehow it was all right. Anyway, I don't know. I just go and I play the piano, and somehow everything seemed right, completely so. And as I play the piano, the room became filled with people. But I was so concerned with my piano as to how it was, the tone and everything, and I did not even look to see who would make the piano. In fact, now I remember there was no maker's name on the piano, but all of a sudden it seemed as if the room was filled with people, and then I realized that I had many friends, but they were all friends that I had made through my music. It was my music that brought my friends to me. And then I was told afterwards that, oh, this is a long story, so many things I have to miss out. But, you know, they tell me that I have so many friends who love my music and who, in some instances, were able to help me when on earth with my music, that as soon as I touched the piano, they knew that I was, how you say, awake from my sleep between passing from your world to this, and that music had reawakened me fully to my new life, and they knew then it was the time to come to me, to see me, to make themselves, how you say, aware, make themselves
known to you.
Known to me, you see. So, I just go away, I play, and the people all come and sit in this magnificent salon, this magnificent room, and then all of a sudden I finish, and, well, I find myself surrounded, my home is surrounded full of people who love me and my music. And I know then that I was at home. I was no longer a stranger in a strange house. I was no longer a stranger in a strange land. I was at home with friends who were musicians, who were fond of music. They were my friends. Some of them I had never met on earth, of course, but that did not matter. I realized then for the first time that it is music that makes friends.
Yes.
It is music that brings the souls of people together. It is music that knits, as it were, humanity in one accord. When I think now, as I look back, and I know so well, I look into the earthly world, and I know that there are thousands of people who never knew Chopin, and yet in a way they know Chopin through his music, and therefore I have many friends, thousands and thousands of friends in the realms of spirit, and thousands of friends still on earth. And so I am one with anyone who loves my music. They are my friends. They are everything to me, and I am everything to them. For music is beyond individuals, it is beyond characters, or how you say, it is something that is common to all of us. It is something that links us together in complete harmony. For what is music but complete harmony, where vibration of such beauty and tremendous power surge and make all things one. So I find myself in the realm of spirit, something which I had never anticipated, something I had not even been conscious of, but I realized it was music that had made it possible. It was that which flowed from within myself, that had created for myself through all the links that were forged with thousands of people who love my music. And so I never lack friends, I never lack companionship, but here I have everything that the soul could wish, and always it is beautiful, it is, everything is perfect, it is all so complete, for nothing is lacking, where music is the basic thing. Don't put these things well.
Yes, you're putting them beautifully, Frederick. I'm listening.
Same with you. When you come here, you know, we told you this before.
Yes.
Here, you fight for yourself that you have got everything. You have everything that you need because you have made it possible. It is music that has been your life. The rest has been unimportant to you. It has been things that you have had to do, things you've had to experience, but in themselves they have not been materially important. They have been necessary, probably, but they have not been essential, but they've had to be. The point is, it is music. It is music that will find for you all that you need here. So when you come here, it is quite natural that I should be one of the first to greet you. I should be one of the first people to help you, one of the first people to show you all the things that your heart longs for. And you will have, as I've told you, when you go to your mama and your papa and your brother and others here whom you love, you will find for you, with such loving hands, everything that you want. And the piano, that you want, it is a perfect instrument. And you will be a perfect player on the piano eventually. But it takes a long time, to play very well. But that will give you great joy,
Oh, I shall struggle.
Because here, when you come here, you will be almost like as if you were the child again,
Yes.
With this time, everything in front of you, everything to help you, everything to encourage you, magnificent piano, and I as a tutor Already you start your lessons some long time and you do quite well.
Yes.
But eventually, you'll be a good composer too, which is more important still, you know.
Yes.
It is very nice that you should play my music very well, and I like you to be able to do it, and eventually you will do it. But that is not enough, you know, because the heart must be in a position not only to beat in time with others, but it must be able to create of its own accord. It must be able to make its own harmony and melody independently.
Yes.
And you will do that too. You really will do little pieces together, simple little things.
You'll be bored to tears.
No.
Simple little things.
No, because I realize only too well. It is all the little simple things added up that make the big things.
Yes.
After all, you know, you cannot do great music until you learn the simple things that go to help, you know, to make possible.
You know, he's getting, his voice is,
My voice is what?
your voice has changed a bit, Frederick.
Oh, maybe it will change.
I think it's your it's you. It's you. Personality coming out there.
Well, I hope so. I should not like to always have to go on with that silly voice. I have to use at first. I take time, you know.
Yes.
I get used to this. I speak naturally. And as I speak more naturally, so I should be able to use the condition and be able to perhaps build so you can see me. I hope so. I'm not going to always be a fleeting ghost. I don't want to be, you know, I always liked to be seen in the old days. I still have a certain amount of vanity.
I know that.
No, you should not say that to me.
What?
Never mind, I'll let you go away with it. No, seriously, I'm human, of course.
Yes.
I have not progressed so far that I have not, how you say, some trace of my old self remain. I still like, well...
Oh, I expect you've got a lot of... Oh, I know. I can well imagine that.
I like sometimes to have the little joke, too, you know.
I know that.
And it gives me a little pleasure sometimes to mystify you or to give you a little surprise or to, well, make you jump, you know.
Yeah, I know lots of things that you've said to me. It's jolly good lecture.
Besides, on a birthday, you always have special, how you say...
privileges.
So, you know, everyone bow down to you, you know.
Yes.
But you get away with things you not get away with any other day, you know.
What's happening over on your side on your birthday?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No celebrations.
No.
No. Earthly birthdays mean nothing to us. If it were not that our friends and loved ones on earth concern themselves with our anniversaries, it would not mean anything to us.
No.